Okay, welcome back to another CartoonSmart.com podcast, and we're going to look at a little bit more code just straight from the Swift programming documentation. We're not really going in order here. But we're kind of jumping around to some topics I think are worth talking about. And as usual, I am joined by my co-host Cleavon. Cleavon, are you ready to talk to us? Yeah, I was waiting actually for you to do the. You always go check, before we start, and you didn't really do it this time. Is that? Well, I never actually put that as part of the podcast. That's just for me to make sure that the microphone is working. Oh, are you serious? Because I always thought that was for the people on the other end to begin calibrating, like maybe they listen and they kind of do the tuners on their devices and things like that. No, that's not at all what we're doing here. And by the way, what are you wearing? It's your. Are you talking about what, the chain or the gi? A little bit of both, but are you wearing like a karate gi? Is that what's going on here? Oh, yeah, well, it's a Friday for me. I don't know when you're going to post this, but yeah, this is kind of my going out look. I like to put on the nice, clean white gi. It's what you would traditionally wear when you're going to practice in your dojo or something like that. But then what I'll do is I'll tuck it into my jeans. So the part that normally hangs down to about midway between your knee and the upper part of your leg, that just kind of gets it's hidden a little bit underneath the jeans. And are you talking about the gold shark tooth chain or the one underneath that? Yeah, you actually you're kind of mixing things a little bit. You've got like a chain with a gold shark tooth, and then you also have the beaded thing. Well, it's one's a little formal, and then one's not as formal. It's just to kind of tell people that I'm like a loose, cool sort of guy. Did you want to teach anything today, or just talk about what I'm wearing? Yeah, okay, let's go ahead and do it. So what we're gonna do is get rid of. Well, actually, do you want to take over? Yeah, I do. Let's back the garbage truck up over here and get rid of all the garbage. Boop, boop, and clear that out. And so what you wanted to do, as the name implies over here, is look at it's a class on classes. So we're gonna make. Oh, I must have been practicing ahead, because this is exactly what I was just about to write over here. That is true. Sometimes we do type a little bit before the lesson to kind of practice a little bit. So. Yeah, all right. So, this was kind of an astonishment to me that you could kind of mix in another class into your current class. So you can just write over here class. I thought you had to go and make a whole different file for something like this, but so yeah, we did test it, and this does work. So let's go ahead and do it. All right. So again, this is coming from the straight from the documentation. We're not going to try to be creative or anything like that and come up with a number of sides. Is going to equal a 0. Can you have a 0-sided thing? No, but I think what the point here is that you're going to change that that property of the class later on to make it so that it has something to it. Right. I was trying to. Well, my mind was stuck on kind of a stop sign, and then I couldn't figure out how you could do like a 0-sided stop sign. I don't know why I don't know why when I see the word shape, I immediately think of a stop sign, but it probably has. Somebody actually did throw a stop sign through a window of my car once. They were not very mad. They were not very happy with me, and that was kind of their way of expressing that. Okay, so then what we're doing here is we're going to return a string from the function that we just wrote inside of the class. So there's not sort of any kind of like initialization or anything. This is the barest bones type of class that you can have of just one property and one function inside of it. And then simple description. Again, we call this function, and that's going to return the string. And then down here, if we don't return anything, it's going to keep complaining. Xcode will start to cry in some sense. It doesn't like it. And then we're going to put in here number of sides. How come that's not filling right in for me? Did I mess something up? I don't think I did. All right. Well, let's just keep on rolling on. Well, there it goes. Yeah, all right, so the red went away. Now what we can do is come out of this, go over here to our did move to view statement, and we're going to say var, Nobody actually knows what the correct pronunciation of that is. And I'm not really sure I agree with what they're doing right here, making a variable with the name shape and then also making it the class shape. But I guess that's a style thing. Shape dot, and here's where the number of sides actually comes in. 7. Actually, can you have a 7-sided shape? I don't think that you can. It always has to be an even number of sides, right? No, that's crazy. Are you sure? We'll test it out later. Maybe, can you give me a piece of paper over there that I could let me get that piece of paper to fold. I'm going to try, I can't do both at once. You fold up the 7-sided shape and then I'll keep teaching this. So var, shape, description, you're going to be eating your words in a little bit if you can't make a 7-sided shape. I'm not even going to try. Okay, well then you're not really participating at all. Shape, description. If I could spell description right, this would go a little faster. And then, you know what I could do? I could just cut. Wait a minute. Again, they're kind of reusing a lot of the same terms. Shape dot simple description. Oh, I see. I get it right there. All right, simple description. And then they actually kind of just kind of leave you on the precipice's edge at that point. They say that that's all the code that you need, but really you've done nothing here. You haven't used this variant. Well, this year they're telling you that you're not even it should just be a let because you haven't done anything with it. You're not changing it. And then this over here, again, it's just kind of like, well, bye. What are you supposed to do here? I printed this out. We did print that out or publish this a moment ago, and it was the gray screen of nothingness. So why don't we do this? Why don't we come over here and we're just going to print out what the shape description actually is at this point. So this is going to equal the return value from our shape, which is the simple description over this way. Now it's telling us that this should be just a constant because we haven't done anything with it. Don't ever press over here because that put a breakpoint in. And we don't want that. It'll make it seem like we just didn't do anything. It just stops right there. So print shape description, and now we could go ahead and just run this. That is really confusing for new programmers. If you accidentally kind of press over on that side, on the other side of the numbers, what will happen is the compiler will just kind of stop in the middle of the road right there, and traffic begins to just pile up at that point. The shape was 7 sides, but whatever. It doesn't know that it doesn't really matter that I didn't put the pro in there. But yeah, that's if you did do something like that, why don't we just do it here, right here? Well, then that kind of proved our point that we did make the class in there. So I'll run it, and then what you'll see is that it's not going to print out this line, right? Okay, so here we go. And that actually, right. See, now it's showing, and you'll go, oh, hey, what did I do wrong? So people will email you all the time, right? And they'll say, I got an error over here. It says thread breakpoint, and then you got to say, well, you got to press this little button right down here. Oh my goodness, the TV went back on. I got to turn that off. That's what we call a mistake. And I was watching Roadhouse over there, and so you hear that guy revving his motorcycle. That's okay. I don't think enough of it played that I could get into like a copyright issue or something. They're not going to say, well, you gave away a lot of the movie with when the TV became unpaused. That could be revving up from. I shouldn't have actually said that was from Roadhouse. That was from another movie with another motorcycle. Okay, so let's just go ahead and delete it, and I think we've kind of made our point. And how long have we been talking now? 20 odd minutes or so about this one thing. Let me just run it one more time so we're not seeing all the garbage over there with the green things and stuff like that. And by the way, speaking of Roadhouse, if I could move to that town, I definitely would, because I would do pretty good there. I do a little freelance gyropractory. It's a little bit like chiropractic, but I focus only on the jaws. And watching that show, there's a lot of people that end up needing some sort of jaw repair just from the fights that they get into and things like that. Although that's a misconception that a gyropractor deals with fights. That's a very small percent, maybe 30% of the reasons that they call a guy like me. You could get your jaw adjusted if you've just been dipping too much, spitting out and dipping, and or maybe sometimes I'll hold like a hammer or something too long in my jaw if I'm working on a deck or something like that, and then that would be a reason. A lot of people do that. They just they think of their jaw as kind of like a third arm to hold things, and especially if you try to hammer it at this, you actually use the tool with your jaw. That doesn't work out. Like kind of swing your head around, but. Yeah, I would do well good in that town. I don't know if they ever actually mention what town that is. Cleveland, that is not like a documentary. There's not a lot of fights that go on in the Roadhouse town. It's just a movie where, it's a scripted thing. It's not reality television. Really? Well, that's a little bit disappointing. I thought that there was a guy that was just following that one dude around. Anyway, all right. Well, I guess we're going to cut it. Is that it for today? We don't need to talk about anything else? Because if not, I am kind of dressed for success here, so I got to get going. Yeah, all right. Bye.